everything would be in order in the planet of Zeno-sama. While both kings of the whole were taking a nap, the 4 guardians of Zeno-sama were fulfilling their functions overwatching their security, but each one would feel a strange energy. Each one would be on guard in the 4 extremes watching over the security of the kings of the whole. Between them, they would observe waiting for something. Suddenly, a great ball of ki would fall from the roof, destroying it. But the guardians would react in time. Each one would launch a ray of ki contrasting the attack, while the kings of the whole continued resting. Suddenly, the head of one of the guardians would roll on the floor. The other 3 would be shocked, since they had not seen or felt anything. In a matter of seconds, the other 3 guardians would suffer the same destiny. Daishinkan would arrive in an instant upon sensing something strange. "What is all this?" Daishinkan would ask, terrified. The kings of the whole would open their eyes and see the bodies of the guardians. "Why are they sleeping?" the Zeno-sama would ask. "I think they died," the other Zeno-sama would say. "How?" the first Zeno-sama would say. "Great Lord, are you all right?" Daishinkan would ask. "We are," the Zeno-sama would say. "What happened to them?" the other Zeno-sama would ask. "It seems that someone came in and killed them," Daishinkan would say. Daishinkan would look everywhere. He would find nothing. "I think we will have to take some measures with all this," Daishinkan would say. Back on Earth, Goku just had dinner with his family. "Wow, Goku, you've really grown quite a bit this year," Chi-Chi would say. "You're right," Goku would say. "I sure cultivated enough to take a year off." "Don't get smart. You're not just working for money, you're working to set an example for Goten," Chi-Chi would say seriously. "Come on, I didn't have that problem with Gohan," Goku would say. "Gohan's a different case," Chi-Chi would say. "Trunks studies and his father never worked," Goten would say. "But Vegeta's a very bad example," Chi-Chi would say, offended. "But here's the prince. Princes don't work," Goku would say. "I don't care, Vegeta. You have a responsibility, and you must fulfill it no matter what," Chi-Chi would say. Suddenly, Whis and Beerus would arrive inside the house as if nothing happened. "How did they get in?" Chi-Chi would ask, terrified. "We regret this way of entering, but we had no choice," Whis would say. "We're in a hurry. We need Mr. Goku to come with us." "Let's go train!" Goku would ask excitedly. "Goku, you have work to do. No training," Chi-Chi would say seriously. "But Chi-Chi," Goku would say, a little sad. "Don't worry, Mrs. Chi-Chi. We've got Mr. Goku a good job," Whis would say. "Hey, you guys, why does everyone want me to work?" Goku would ask, annoyed. "It's a very important position, and it will be well paid," Whis would say. "An important position?" Chi-Chi would say, excited. "Goku, I don't know what they saw in you to occupy that position, but you can't waste the opportunity. Accept it before they realize how you really are," Chi-Chi would say, as if no one was listening to her. "That was something," Beerus would say in shock. "Uncomfortable to hear," Whis would say. "Come on, Chi-Chi, don't exaggerate," Goku would say. "Whis, tell me, what's this about? Do I have to fight someone?" Goku would ask. "Pretty much. You'll have to be the new guardian of Zeno-sama." "The guardian of Zeno-sama?" Goku would ask. "The guardian of Zeno-sama," Beerus would say. "Wow, the guardian of Zeno-sama," Goku would say in amazement. "Yeah, it's already clear that he's going to be Zeno-sama's guardian," Whis would say. "Please come with us." "Chi-Chi, did you hear that?" Goku would say excitedly. "I'll be the guardian of Zeno-sama." "Stop repeating yourself," Beerus would say, annoyed. "What do I have to do now?" Goku would ask. "First, you'll have to come with us," Whis would say. Whis and Beerus would take Goku to Zeno-sama's planet so he could start his new job. "I only warn you one thing. Whatever you do, don't bother Zeno-sama. Remember who he is." What Mr. Beerus means is that if you make him angry, the Universe 7 could disappear, Whis would say. "Don't worry, I get along very well with little Zeno," Goku would say. "Don't you dare call him little Zeno," Beerus would say angrily. "You have to be thankful that Zeno-sama likes Mr. Goku," Whis would say. Finally, our friends would arrive at Zeno-sama's planet. "Goku, you made it!" they would both say at the same time. Hello, I'm here to be your guardian, Goku would say. We know, Zeno-sama would say. We asked for you, the other Zeno-sama would say. Great, now what do I do? Goku would ask. All the angels would arrive, including Daishinkan. Lord Goku, it's good that you came, Daishinkan would say. Hello, I see all the angels are here, Goku would say. Some of the angels would be somewhat annoyed with Goku, as they felt it was undignified for a mortal to be the direct guardian of Zeno-sama. I don't like this at all, Goku would think, thoughtfully. Well, there is not much to know. He will have to protect Zeno-sama since he doesn't have the other guardians, Daishinkan would say. What happens to them? Goku would ask. They killed them, Whis would say. But how? Goku would ask. They dropped their heads, both Zeno-sama would say as if nothing. What? Goku would say while holding his neck. Don't worry, nothing you can't control, Daishinkan would say. Anyway, you will be trained by me before you take your position. Wow, that's great, Goku would say. But what will happen now with Zeno-sama? We angels will stay here as long as you are training, Whis would say. Don't worry, we will use a time room after all, Daishinkan would say. That way 5 years will pass in 1 day. The angels also have to fulfill their tasks. Mr. Beerus, why are you here? Goku would ask. I'm certainly afraid that you will do something rash, Beerus would say. The atmosphere felt more and more tense. The angels felt a natural dislike for Goku, except for Whis and Vados and a few more angels. Goku would be taken to a special time room, and he was ready to start his training. How strange! This place feels so light, Goku would say. Hey, shouldn't a time room have increased gravity? Oh, those are mortal training based on physical strength, Daishinkan would say. But my body is mortal, Goku would say. But you are climbing to the level of the gods, or didn't you notice? Daishinkan would ask. Let's do a test. Attack me with all your might. Really? But I can never do anything to you, if even the angels don't reach your feet, Goku would say. Attack me and you will understand, Daishinkan would say. Alright, but I'll use all my strength, otherwise there's no point, Goku would say. Goku would use the Super Saiyan God Phase 2 and would throw everything towards Daishinkan. He would arrive with a strong fist blow, which the Supreme Priest would resist, but Goku would observe his fist. He would notice that the blow had been very weak. I think he noticed, Daishinkan would say. That was, Goku would say. Weak. That's because he's used to staying in normal and increased gravity, Daishinkan would explain. But he doesn't know what it's like to be almost without gravity. He should be prepared for it if one day he has to fight in space. Wow, it's like he can't punch well, Goku would say. Goku would start throwing several punches in the air. He would realize a surprise. Even at one point when throwing a kick, he would fall backwards. That's what I mean, Daishinkan would say. To be Zeno-sama's guardian, you must master many scenarios. Daishinkan would snap his fingers and the temperature would rise. Gosh, it's so hot, Goku would say as he began to sweat. This is also part of your training, Daishinkan would say. Being able to move in extreme temperatures, being a guardian, you can face certain deserts from all over the universe. You have to be ready for anything. Goku would be shaken and fall to his knees. Wow, that's a tough one, Goku would say, but it doesn't matter, it's worth it. Goku would be training all this time, learning to control his body in a more efficient way, besides enduring the most extreme conditions. Meanwhile, on the planet of Zeno-sama, both kings of everything were playing with each other. The angels were attentive to them, fulfilling their needs. Whis, the air is tense, Beerus would say. I know, I could tell, Whis would say. To be honest, I have some suspicions. Mojito would arrive to talk to Whis. Brother, I see that your immortals give good results. They even become gods, Mojito would say. I hope that's not a sarcastic comment, Whis would say seriously. No, not at all. On the contrary, you have my approval, Mojito would say. Please, as if I needed it, Whis would say, annoyed. What's going on here? Vados would ask. Nothing, Mojito being envious as usual, Whis would say. It's not a competition either, okay? he would say. What was missing? Whis would say. Wow, I feel so small finding myself among so many angels, Beerus would think. Is everything in order? Vados would ask. I don't think everything can be in order with Goku as Zeno-sama's guardian, okay? Margarita would say. Jiren would be much better for that position. He's stronger and much more serious and attentive. Plus, he's always with a blank mind. Always calm and ready to fight, okay? I guess you want to make that suggestion to Zeno-sama, Beerus would intervene, stealing the glances of all the angels. This is a conversation between angels. Don't interfere, okay? Margarita would say. Seriously, Mr. Beerus is right, and I support him, Whis would say. If you like the idea of Jiren being a supreme guardian so much, go tell him. Margarita would be really annoyed by Whis' comment. Unless you know that Zeno-sama's decisions are not questioned, Beerus would say. How dare you talk to me that way? Margarita would say, furious. Margarita would raise her hand carrying Ki, but Whis would grab her by the wrist. I don't think I need to tell you, Whis would say seriously. What's wrong? Both Zeno-sama would ask. Great Lord, we were just playing, Whis would say with a special smile. Yes, we were playing, Margarita would say. That's good. Let's play hide and seek, Zeno-sama would say. Yes, let's play hide and seek, the other Zeno-sama would say. The angels would start playing hide and seek under the request of the kings of everything. Whis and Beerus would hide in the same place. I must make sure he doesn't fall asleep like last time, Whis would say. Don't be silly. I couldn't fall asleep on a day like today, Beerus would say. I'm worried about the other angels, especially Margarita and Mojito. I feel they have something to do with the deaths of the Guardians. I didn't want to say it, but I have the same feeling, Whis would say. That must be why Goku's presence bothers the others so much. Meanwhile, he would spend the whole day, almost 5 years inside the time room. Goku was ready for his last fight. He wore a uniform identical to Daishinkan's. All right, Mr. Goku, since we are about to leave, I want to see everything you've learned, Daishinkan would say. All right, Goku would say as he gets on his guard. No, not like that, Daishinkan would say. What's wrong? Goku would ask, confused. I want him to fight with everything, to use all his strength. It's a test of your skills. Take it seriously, Daishinkan would say. I understand, Goku would say seriously. Goku would be raising his ki to the maximum, thus managing to use the Ultra Instinct transformation, being left with white hair. Perfect, I'm ready, Goku would say. That's the way I like it, Daishinkan would say as he saw Goku using the Ultra Instinct Master. Goku was ready to perform his demonstration. He would throw himself full force towards Daishinkan, coming in with a powerful kick. Daishinkan would manage to resist the attack like it was nothing. Not bad. Goku would attack with a fist strike, but Daishinkan would manage to dodge the attack again. Then Goku would attack with a barrage of fist strikes, one after another, but none of his attacks would have any effect. Daishinkan would dodge each one of them with great agility, something that was to be expected. In a moment, Goku would launch a fist strike charged with ki. Daishinkan would hold the attack with just the tip of his finger. A great roar would be produced throughout the room of time. I see you have achieved good results, Daishinkan would say with a smile. There's only one problem. Don't tell me you're still at it. Now that I'm so strong, I don't really have anyone to fight with. The angels are too strong for me, but the gods of destruction were left behind me. It won't be the same anymore. Don't worry, the 12 universes are great. At some point, some warrior of your stature will appear, Daishinkan would say. I hope so. For now, the most important thing is to fulfill my role as guardian, besides finding out who was able to kill the previous guardians. Leave that to me. Not anyone could accomplish such a feat. Remember all the advice I've given you, and I hope you take it wisely. Sure, I will, Goku would say. Finally, the day had arrived. Goku and Daishinkan would come out of the time room, surprising everyone. It can't be, Vados would say in astonishment. Is that really Mr. Goku's power? Whis would say, surprised. What the hell? Beerus would say, puzzled. Goku, you're back, Zeno-sama would say. Yes, you're back, would say the other Zeno-sama. That's right, and I'm ready to be your guardian, Goku would say excitedly. All the angels would murmur amongst themselves, speculating about Goku's new power. It would only arouse more rancor against them. "Is there a problem here?" Daishinkan would ask seriously, and all the angels would be silent. "That's the way I like it." "Alright, first of all, I want to thank everyone for taking care of Zeno-sama in my absence. From now on, I'll be the new guardian of the King of Everything, and it will be a pleasure to occupy this position." These would be the words of the new guardian of Zeno-sama, Goku. "He even learned to speak," Beerus would say. The atmosphere was still tense. The angels didn't look favorably on Goku. Then, Daishinkan would intervene. "I think a cordial greeting wouldn't hurt," Daishinkan would say seriously to cut with so much coldness on the part of all the angels. The angels would make a slight bow in the form of respect. All would leave from there except Whis and Beerus. "Mr. Goku, what a great change," Whis would say. "He's finally gotten the better of me," Beerus would say. "Thanks, guys. Anyway, I wouldn't have made it here if it wasn't for you," Goku would say. "Your teachings and experience are what got me here." "Goku, you're going to take care of us now," Zeno-sama would say. "Yes, you're going to take care of us. And also, we're going to play for a long time," Zeno-sama would say. "Of course, kings of everything," Goku would say. Whis and Beerus would return to their planet, surprised by the new Goku. "So Mr. Goku has become quite the god," Whis would say. "I'm just worried about how long it'll take him to screw up," Beerus would say. "Don't worry about it. I'm sure my father will be aware of everything," Whis would say. Meanwhile, Goku would begin his duties as guardian. He would constantly watch over the Zeno-sama while they played with each other. After several days, everything seemed to be in order. Even Daishinkan was keeping an eye on everything because he suspected that another attack was coming. "What was that?" Goku would ask. "What was that?" Zeno-sama would ask. "Yeah, what a thing," the other Zeno-sama would say. "Nothing, it was just my imagination," Goku would say with laughter. "Damn, I drew too much attention. I didn't have to say anything out loud," Goku would think. Goku would walk away for a minute. He would try to feel someone's ki, but he didn't feel anything. "I'm sure I felt a presence," Goku would say. Goku would close his eyes for a moment while the Zeno-sama were distracted and would create a copy of him. The copy would leave there and start going around investigating. After going all around the palace, he would find nothing. "How strange," the copy of Goku would say. Suddenly, something would hit the copy from behind, and it would disappear completely. Goku was watching the Zeno-sama. He would feel a discomfort in his head. His nose would bleed. When his copy died, all the memories of it would come to him. Who was it? Goku would wonder as he wiped the blood from his nose. Daishinkan would arrive, surprising Goku. Was it? Goku would say, until Daishinkan with a gesture would manage to make Goku keep quiet. That was very thoughtful of him, Daishinkan would say. So it was about you, Goku would say more calmly. Indeed, Daishinkan would say. Try not to talk out loud next time. A real enemy would run away and you wouldn't be able to catch him. Yes, I know. I realized it seconds later, Goku would say. The Zeno-sama would be very distracted among themselves playing. They hardly gave a thought to Goku and Daishinkan. Any news? Goku would ask. Nothing at the moment, but I'll keep an eye out, Daishinkan would say. Okay, Goku would say. Goku would continue with his job as Zeno-sama's guardian. He would keep an eye on everything for several days, but he didn't feel any threat. Thanks to this ability that Daishinkan taught me to sense every last leaf that moves on the entire planet, there's no way for something to happen without me noticing it, Goku would think. Suddenly, Goku would sense something, move his hand nimbly, and delicately hold a needle. None of the Zeno-sama had noticed. Goku would pay attention to the direction the needle came from. I know where it came from, but it's the last place it would stay, Goku would think. Goku would disappear in an instant. He would reach the sky at the edge of Zeno-sama's planet. It's this way, Goku would think. Suddenly, Goku would move his hand to the side. In an instant, he had Hit, held by the neck. I knew it, Goku would say. Hit would try to move, but it would become impossible. Let go of me, Hit would say. Tell me why you wanted to kill Zeno-sama with this, Goku would say seriously as he would show the needle. You idiots! I'm guarding the place! Vado sent me! Hit would say. Goku would punch Hit's neck, knocking him out, then return to him. "What happened?" both Zeno-samas would say. "Looks like I found the killer," Goku would say. "Let's make him disappear," would say a Zeno-sama. "Yeah, let him disappear," the other Zeno-sama would say. "No, not yet," Goku would say. "Why?" both Zeno-sama would ask. "Because we have to find out who sent him. I highly doubt Hit has any intentions of doing it on his own. Hit is a hired killer. He doesn't kill if no one gives him the order and he gets paid for it." "Well, alright," would say a Zeno-sama. "Yeah, that's fine," the other Zeno-sama would say. Hit would awaken with difficulty. He was suffering from a severe headache. "What am I doing here?" Hit would say, confused. "You better tell me who sent you," Goku would say. "It was Vados, but he didn't send me to kill him, he sent me to watch over him," Hit would say. "Vados?" Goku would say. Daishinkan would appear out of nowhere. "I heard everything. I hope she's not lying or she'll have a very bad time." "You can ask her," Hit would say. "I said I would never reveal her identity, but I think the occasion calls for it." "What exactly did Vados say?" Goku would ask. "That he would kill everything that entered Zeno-sama's planet without properly introducing himself," Hit would say. Goku would show the needle. "Explain this. It looks like Frost's needles." "I have nothing to do with this. I wasn't even on the planet. I remain in a spiritual state above space near the planet." "Goku, did you manage to detect the needle in time?" Daishinkan would ask. "That's right. It appeared out of nowhere. I only felt the needle. There was nothing else. Then I felt Hit's presence." "Well, I felt a certain distortion in space. I think that made me tense up, and for a moment I lost my spiritual state." "Vados, can you come?" Daishinkan would ask when using his staff. "Sure, I'll be right there," Vados would say. Vados would arrive in an instant. "Well, I see it's because of Hit." "Sorry, I had to tell them you sent me." "Vados, did you send him?" both Zeno-samas would ask. "That's right. I have suspicions about who could be the murderer of the other Guardians. That's why I sent him to keep watch," Vados would say. "Explain this," Goku would say as he shows Frost's needle to him. "Wow, Frost's needle," Vados would say. "I felt the distortion in space, as if gravity affected it. I think that has something to do with it." "That's right, Analasa," Goku would say. "Excuse me?" Vados would say. "Analasa, the merger of Universe 3. He could create dimensional portals. That's the only thing I can think of for the needle to have appeared out of nowhere," Goku would say. "I guess they must be going to Universe 3, would say Vados. "Daishinkan, can you stay?" Goku would ask. "Of course, I don't mind covering for him if it's to find out who's the one behind such an attack." "I can take him if you wish," Vados would say. "Yes, that would be great," Goku would exclaim. "Mr. Hit, I would like you to continue with the function my daughter gave you," Daishinkan would say. "Sure, no problem," Hit would mention. "If you misbehave, we'll make you disappear," Zeno-sama would say. "Yes, if you misbehave, delete it," the other Zeno-sama would say. "I understand," Hit would say, swallowing saliva from nerves. "First, we'll make a stop by Universe 6. We need to talk to Mr. Frost," Vados would say. "Okay, we're on our way." Vados and Goku would go to planet Sadala in Universe 6 to talk to Kappa. "Sure, that's definitely Frost's. We have him under pressure. We managed to imprison him in a special place for strong people like him." "It would be very useful for us to see him," Vados would mention. "Our friends would go to Frost's cell and find him dead." "That's not true," Kappa would say in astonishment. "No doubt they silenced him. Maybe they stole his needles," Goku would say. "But how? How could he get into the cell?" Kappa would ask in bewilderment. "There's no way anyone could get in here without leaving a trace." Goku and Vados would observe each other. They understood that it was the same situation as the attack towards Zeno-sama. "Thanks for everything, Kappa. Vados!" "Right away," Vados would say. Vados and Goku would go to the planet of Kaioshin in Universe 3. Curiously, the god of destruction, Moscow, and his angel, Campari, were there. "Brother, what are you doing here?" Vados would ask seriously. "I was going to ask what you're doing here. I remind you that it is my universe," Campari would say. "We want to know what happened to Analasa," Goku would mention. Moscow would start talking with cybernetic sounds. Mr. Moscow, don't say that, E would say. Mule, if you keep talking from that metal thing, I'll take you out by force, Goku would say. Mule would open the robot and get out. Hey, have more respect. I always communicate like this. Wow, but you didn't take long to get out of there, Goku would say with a chuckle. You bastard, Mule would say. This is serious. They tried to kill Zeno-sama again, and we suspected distortion in space, Vados would say. I understand. That's something only Enelasa could do, but it's a fusion of 4 of my men. You should ask Dr. Paparoni how he fuses his portal system, he would say. Goku, with a terrifying and threatening look towards E, would mention, Bring it right now! Dr. Paparoni would be summoned by E to answer for the portal system. Meanwhile, Daishinkan would be with Zeno-sama while Hit guarded the surroundings. Hit was in his spiritual form without being seen by anyone, but something would break his concentration. Hit would lose his state and something would cut him in 2. Hit would stop time by instinct. He would see a sword that ended up coming out of his side, but he could not do anything about it. The time jump would end and Hit would fall dead in Zeno-sama's planet. Just near the door of his palace, Daishinkan would see Hit's body from his staff. How did they kill him? Daishinkan would wonder. Daishinkan would call Vados to tell him the news. Vados, I'm sorry to tell you that they killed your man, Daishinkan would tell him. Who was it? Vados would ask. I don't know, but whoever it was cut him in 2, Daishinkan would answer. It can't be. Not anyone could kill someone like Hit just like that, Goku would say. Goku would look and ask at Campari. If you have something to say, do it, Campari would say. I want Paparoni here immediately, Goku would say seriously. Mr. Goku, I respect that you are the guardian of Zeno-sama, but we can't tolerate this kind of audacity. If you have nothing to hide, bring Paparoni here, Vados would say seriously. Paparoni would arrive and start talking to Goku about the technology they used to create the portals. Although Paparoni was the creator of that invention, he said that others could have also created it. As I told him, it is only a distortion in space. The only thing I can say is that the more distance there is between the portals, the more energy is required, Paparoni would clarify. So either he was close, or he was someone very strong, Goku would say. I don't know who could do it, but not even someone like Jiren could create such a portal from another planet, Paparoni would emphasize. That matches the fighting level of the Guardian Killer, Vados would say. Campari would discreetly walk away from there and with his bakulo would call Margarita. We have problems, Campari would say, and show Goku with E and Paparoni. That's not true! How can he be with his nose there? Margarita would say. I don't know, but this is getting dangerous, Campari would say. Who are you talking to? Vados would ask. Yes, and why are you moving away from us? Are you afraid that we will listen? I don't know what you're talking about, Campari would say. Come on, stop pretending. You're hiding something. I remind you that you're talking to an angel. Remember that I am. If you don't want to give the explanation to Goku, do it with me. Damn, Campari would think, annoyed. Campari's attitude would leave Goku and Vados even more suspicious. Suddenly, Mojito and Margarita would appear. What are you doing here? Vados would ask. Hey, I don't like this at all, he would say. Mojito would throw himself towards E to attack, but Vados with his staff would save him just in time by repelling his attack. So this is about betrayal, Vados would say. I don't believe it, E would say. Hey, what's going on here? Mule would ask terrified. Finish them off once and for all, Campari would shout. Goku would use Ultra Instinct and dash towards Mojito, but Margarita and Campari would stand in front of him, cutting him off. Get out of my way, Goku would say. Margarita and Campari would hit Goku's stomach hard. He would be out of breath and fall to the ground, losing his transformation, while Vados and Mojito would be fighting each other. Good heavens, what the hell are you doing? Vados would ask in bewilderment. This idiot Goku ruined our plans, Campari would say. You dare to support him? Okay, Margarita would say, annoyed. I'm on Zeno-sama's side, but I see that you are traitors. Mule, get out of here! Both gods would try to get out of there, but Margarita would place herself in front of them. With a blow from the edge of her hand, she would cut off E's head. That's enough! Margarita would take Mule and throw him against a wall. Enjoy your seconds of life. Without Kaioshin, you die! Vados should face 3 angels, Margarita, Mojito, and Campari.